Just a quick reminder before we get into the lesson to download the hands-on lab exercises that accompany this complete CCNA course. I'll include the link in the description. Also remember to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of the lessons in the course. Okay, let's get into it. In this lecture, you'll learn about usernames and privilege levels. Start off by recapping what we covered earlier in this section about line level passwords. So with line level security, all administrators log in with the same password. You see in our config here, I've got line console 0, password FLACKBOX'S, and then I say login so that whenever anybody accesses over the console, they have to enter that password. And then line VTY 015 for the telnet access, password FLACKBOX', and login there as well. So right now, whenever any administrator wants to configure the device, they all log in with the same password, which is FLACKBOX'. More granular security can be provided by configuring individual usernames and passwords for all of your different administrators. So rather than having them all log in with the same password, they're going to get their own username and password. And then we can give them different levels of access when we do that. So the config for this is we say username, we've got admin1, secret is FLACKBOX', and username admin2, secret FLACKBOX'2. Obviously, in a real world environment, you're not going to give them all a password of FLACKBOX', FLACKBOX'2. You're going to have something a bit more different than that. Then at the line, we've got line console 0, login local. So when we just say login, it means use the password that is configured at the line level. When we say login local, it means use the local usernames. If we had a password configured on the console now, because we've said login local, that password on the console would be ignored. Login local means use the local usernames. And then we also do it for our telnet lines as well. So we've got line VTY 015. We're also saying login local there as well. So now whenever an administrator goes to log in, they need to enter their username and password. Notice here as well that I've got username admin1 secret FLACKBOX'. Because we said secret, the password is going to be encrypted when you do a show run. You can also use username admin1 password FLACKBOX', but that's the old version of the command that is not encrypted. So unless you're on a really old router, use the command username admin1 and then secret rather than password. Okay, when you have configured this, if we go to telnet onto that device, we will get a prompt, but rather than just asking for a password now it's going to first off ask us for the username, and then we have to enter the valid password as well. When we do enter a valid username and password, we're going to get to the user prompt by default. Okay, next thing to talk about is privilege levels. And there's 16 privilege levels available on your routers and switches, going from level 0 up to level 15. You can assign a username a particular privilege level. The default level is 1. So if we go back a slide with our usernames here, because we haven't specified a privilege level, both admin1 and admin2 are getting level 1 by default. You can also configure different passwords for direct access to the different privilege levels. You'll see what that means when we do the example later on. Each available command in iOS can be assigned a privilege level, and an administrator must be logged in with that privilege level or higher to run the command. So you can specify, say we take a particular command, we can give it privilege level 5. For any administrator to be able to run that command, they need to be logged in with a privilege level of 5 or higher. By default, only 3 of the 16 privilege levels are used. The levels that are used are 0, user, and privileged. And all commands are at one of those 3 levels by default. 0 level access allows only 5 commands. Logout, enable, disable, help, and exit. So 0 level, basically, it's just you can get into the router, you can get out of the router, but you can't really run any commands there. Very limited. User level, level 1, provides very limited read-only access to the router. And when you enter user exec mode, you're at privilege level 1 by default. So you saw before in all the earlier lectures, when we log into the router, we get in the user prompt by default, and there is a limited set of commands. So that's because you're at level 1 when you do that. Privileged level, level 15, provides complete control over the router. You can run all commands when you're logged in with privilege level 15. And when you enter privileged exec mode with the enable command, you're at level 15 by default. So again, you saw when we log in, we get in at the user level, and we've got level 1 commands we can run there. Then when we enter the enable command, we get elevated up to level 15, and we can run all commands. So for our configuration here, I've said username admin1, secret FLACKBOX1, and then username admin2, privilege 15, secret FLACKBOX2. Because we didn't specify a privilege level for admin1, when they log in, they're going to be at level 1. Admin2, we've specified privilege 15, so when they log in, they're going to be immediately at privilege level 15. And then at line console 0 and line VTY 015, we've got the login local command again. So the effect of this is going to be if the username admin1 logs in, like you see here, they log in, they enter their username and their password, and then they'll see the user prompt R1 and the greater than symbol. If they do a show privilege, they can see their current privilege level is 1. But if admin2 logs in, the one that we'd configured privilege level 15 for, as soon as they enter a username and password, notice that the prompt shows R1 hash. They immediately get in at the enable prompt because they had privilege level 15. So they don't have to go to the user prompt and then enter the enable command. They're already logged in with level 15 because we set that at the username level. And if they do a show privilege, they'll see their current privilege level is 15. Okay, let's take this on a stage, and the easiest way to explain this is by giving you an example that we'll work through. So here I've configured username admin1, secret FLACKBOX1, no privilege level specified, so they get privilege level 1. Username admin2, privilege 15, secret FLACKBOX2, and username admin3, privilege 5, secret FLACKBOX3. So when admin1 logs in, we're at privilege level 1, admin2 is at level 15, and admin3 is at level 5. Now, if I telnet to the device as admin1 and enter my password, let's go back. Admin1 was privilege level 1. If they do a show IP interface brief, that is a level 1 command, so that command will be accepted and the command will run. But then if that user tries to do a show run, which is a level 15 command, we're going to see it's invalid input. So the error message doesn't say you're not allowed to run that command, you're not at high enough privilege level. It just gives an error message like it's an invalid command. If admin3 logs in, they come in at level 5. And right now, there wasn't really any point of doing this because all commands are at level 15, level 1, or level 0 by default. So admin3 has got level 5, but they really haven't got any more rights than admin1 right now because we haven't set any commands to run at level 5. So admin3, they can do a show IP interface brief. That's a level 1 command. They're level 5, so that will work just fine. But if they try to do a show run, that's level 15, they're only at level 5, they're going to get the error message. If admin2 logs in, we'd set privilege level 15 for them, so as soon as they log in, they get the enable prompt, they're running at level 15, and they can run all commands, including show run. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is we will actually make some use of having that privilege level 5. So we enter the command privilege exec level 5 show running config. This means that we're changing the show running config command from a privilege level of 15 to a privilege level of 5. So now anybody logged in with level 5 is going to be able to run this command. We then log out and log back in as admin1. They try to do a show run. It's going to fail because they are running at level 1. But now when admin3 enters the command, they can do a show run. They're logged in at level 5. so the command will work now. But if they try to do a configure terminal, a config T, that fails because config T is still a level 15 command. So what we've done is we've given them some additional commands that they can run now, which was show run, but they're still not a full level administrator, so they can't make any changes. Okay, last thing to show you here is about how we can also set the password for a privilege level directly at that level. So here, when we do enable secret, secret 1, if you don't specify a privilege level when you set the enable secret, it defaults to you're setting the password for privilege level 15. Then we add an additional command, enable secret level 5, secret 2. So now, if somebody types in enable, and then they put in the password secret 1, they've got level 15 access. But if somebody enters the command enable 5 to get in at level 5 and put in the level 5 password, they've got level 5 access. So you can see here, right now I'm logged in as admin 1, which is a level 1 administrator. I do a show run, which is level 5, and they can't run it because we're currently at level 1. But if that user knows the level 5 enable password, they can say enable 5, meaning log in at level 5, they put in the level 5 password, and now they can do a show run. But if they entered config T, they wouldn't be able to make any changes. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to get the complete course ad-free right now, then you can enroll in my CCNA Gold Bootcamp by clicking the link above my head or in the description. It also includes full study notes, quizzes, and 150 pages of additional troubleshooting labs you can't find anywhere else.